welcome to Reddit on Reddit, the internet's auditory version of Reddit. I'm Nelson Allingham, joined by Michael Cambo Campbell.
I do consider this every time, that if I don't speak when you do that,
Yep.
and then because you'll have to prove that I'm actually here,
Oh.
the burden of proof then becomes on you to prove that you haven't just... Jesus, Nelson.
Never mind. Continue.
Well, I mean, technical question. People probably heard that if we're recording the Bluetooth track.
We're not.
Okay.
Okay. Do I stop the podcast?
Yes. You have to
Turn
stop
on
it.
the recording of the Bluetooth and then start recording again?
Yeah. But we
Like this bit is going to stay in?
This bit will stay in,
Okay.
and this will be a testament to how good we are at this. People won't notice the gap, which will happen now. So if we've done that correctly, that should have been pretty seamless.
Pretty smooth, I think.
Oh, but that just means we freaked out over nothing.
Yeah. We really did. Everybody thought something weird happened.
Yeah.
And...
I
Anyway, this is the best of Reddit 2021.
this is normally one of the episodes everyone looks forward to.
Yeah.
And boy, we're on some shaky ground already.
We often get a few new listeners because they're like, oh, best of Reddit, that seems interesting. Anyway, just like literally ignore that first part.
Yeah.
We're normally like a smooth beverage of sorts.
They say, like, if you're a shopkeeper, put all your good stuff in the window, invite people in.
Yeah.
Have we done that?
Absolutely.
I did it
Nelson!
again. I'm trying to...
But at least now they have context of why we freaked out the last time.
Sake. I'm trying to do this so that I can have it prepared.
In preparing, you've made a sloppy show.
In preparing, I've really ruined everything.
You could turn to the volume of your
Yeah,
phone
I've done
down.
that now. Okay. Here's the thing, though. Wouldn't this intrigue you? You walk past a shop.
Yeah.
In the shop window.
Two people freaking out.
People just screaming, yelling, going, I don't know what's going on. You'd walk into that shop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, just odd things like doll that has, no head that's on a rocking chair. Like, that's weird. I don't imagine that is a product I can buy. Is it? Might walk in and find out.
A shop with weird old stuff in the window that's unappealing is just any op shop.
Yeah.
Do you want this camping chair? No, not really.
Yeah.
What this old book? No,
Yeah.
no, not really.
Yeah, that's true. That's not
We're
very...
the Op Shopper podcast.
We're the Up Shopper podcast.
Because we do reuse other people's content.
Yeah, all the time. Anywho, Cam, I think we should get into the best Reddit.
So this is
2021.
For those new listeners. Oh, I'm so sorry for
they've left
everything.
already. Don't even worry about it.
But normally we go over the week's kind of trending things on Reddit and whatnot.
Yeah.
But every year, at the end of the year, we go back and we relook at the whole year on Reddit and go over what was the most upvoted, what was the most popular, what was happening on Reddit in 2021.
The top of the top, the cream of the crop, as they say.
Yeah. Presented by the cream of the crop in Reddit-based podcasts.
Yeah, well.
Well, longest running.
Yeah. We are the longest running, but not the most official, so that's fine. So I'm going to start just like the usual. I'm going to ask you what was the number one top post about this year.
Yes.
Now, I can give you some multiple choice, but I thought maybe right now, is there anything that comes to mind over this entire year?
If I had to guess blindly, is it about Wall Street bets and GameStop?
There were definitely many top posts in regard to
I would say that was one of the rare times in my inner circle of like family and friends where Reddit breaks through into the mainstream.
Yeah, right.
And people will ask you about what's happening on Reddit.
Yeah, people are like, I've heard you into this thing.
Yeah.
You go onto this website. What's happening
Like,
over there?
I reckon my mum heard about that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's when you know.
So then I was wondering whether it breaking to the mainstream also meant that because of that it was the top of Reddit, but that's not the case?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll give you the options, and you can either stick with GameStop, StopStock, or choose one of these other ones. Another one was footage of an attempted robbery from within the cabin of an armored car. That was by Topcat933, and it was in the subreddit next fucking level. Have you seen that, by the way, by any chance?
I have.
It's weird because I hadn't either. And these were like, I was so genuinely surprised because it's a pretty cool, but also terrifying video. It's a couple of guys, literally, so you're only looking at them the entire time. And they're in an armored car.
Yep.
The reason why you know they're in an armored car is because at one point they get shot at, and the window kind of shatters but doesn't break.
Yeah. Bulletproof glass.
Bulletproof glass. And
it does what it's designed to do, which is take the impact of a bullet.
Yeah. What I thought was great in classic Reddit fashion is, so there's the driver, and people that's why he's the next fucking level, because he's got balls of steel. I think he actually ended up like ramming people as well that were like part of this heist. I sort of tried to read through the comments to get a little bit of context, and it seemed like they were trying to steal phones, which I thought was a weird thing to go after.
Yeah.
I believe it was in South Africa that this happened, and apparently not like super uncommon that there will be like armed robberies, on a highway, like trying to stop this stuff. So obviously this was like security detail.
South Africa are fairly known for their highway robbery in particular.
Yeah.
And carjackings as well, quite popular.
Yeah, right. Yeah. This one driver was like, oh, they're gonna shoot at us, and then you see these bullets come through, and then he kind of like spins around, and the whole time there's a guy in the passenger seat who I think you can see him shooting himself. Like he's just so like incredibly nervous. You can tell like he's not really reacting so much. He first starts has kind of like gets a pistol out, and he's like sort of checks it, and then the other guy hands him like a rifle, and he like kind of cocks that, and he's just like uncertain about what's going on, and then he gets asked to like call people, and you can see he just like I don't think he even does. He just struggles with like trying to do anything.
Yeah, muscles must just tense up.
Yeah. But in true, Reddit fashion, in a few of the comments are like, "What was that guy not doing anything?" Come on, guys, come on.
Yeah. What he should have done. Actually,
yeah, exactly. I think everybody thought that they were the driver in that situation. Where, I'm very, very cool and calm and collected about this. Anyway, so that was quite funny. The other one was Chauvin found guilty of manslaughter to George Floyd's death. That one was posted by 2Hood95, and it was in the subreddit news.
I do remember seeing that. Yeah. Chauvin was sentenced.
Yep.
Okay, that was big. I remember that. Mm-hmm. Certainly front page stuff.
Yep, and then a GameStop stock related.
Okay, so was it the armored car? Was it Chauvin being found guilty, or was it GameStop?
Yeah,
I reckon it might be Chauvin.
So you're gonna change from your initial GameStop stock thing? Yeah, I mean, obviously that was a very big topic. It's funny because
Reddit loves a bit of social justice every now and then.
Yeah, but both these things were arguably quite early on in the year. Like they seem like they happened just so long ago. If somebody had told me that the GameStop stock stuff happened in 2020, I'd be like, yeah, that sounds about right. Like, it just seems that long ago. But anyway, okay, so that's what you're sticking with. Incorrect, Cambo. It was, in fact, the GameStop.
I shouldn't have doubted myself.
Yep.
I was looking for hints on your face when I said it.
Right.
And you played it very cool.
I'm a very cool, calm and collected
person. You gave away
person.
nothing.
After the first part of the show where I really unraveled. Since that moment onwards, I've picked up my game and I'm a very cool, calm and collected character. So those are the ones. Now you did mention GameStop, obviously quite a popular topic. I guess I want you to guess how many of the top 20 posts were GameStop related.
Top 20 posts.
20 posts, pretty big thing.
So you're going to have your initial one from Wall Street Bets, right? That kicks it off. You're going to have a few being like, guys, this whole thing is ridiculous, because that's what Reddit likes to do.
Yep.
You're going to get some about the news coverage on it, probably on r/news.
Yeah.
I'm going to say 10. 10 of the top 20. I'm going to say half of them are GameStop related.
Oh, so close. 9. 9 of the top 20. I think I should give that one to you anyway.
Did I cover my bases with where it was reappearing?
Surprisingly not.
Okay.
In terms of, I think all of those 9 posts all came from Wall Street Bets.
Oh, right.
No other subreddit sort of seemed to touch it.
It was all to the moon kind of stuff.
Yeah. The number one Wall Street Bet was by VRWEENSY, Vroeensy. And they said Times Square right now. And you probably would have seen this. Yeah. I think everybody saw this. Some dude bought a thing that says GME stock goes brrrr or something like that. And just sort of showing the stock's rising and the big FU to Wall Street. That was the number one top post of the year. Then there was another couple. One was a call to arms kind of. Actually, no. This one was it was kind of a call to arms in a way, but it was in relation to the Robin Hood.
Of course, I forgot about that whole element.
Yeah, not allowing people to sell their shares of a few particular stocks. I'll read it here. So it was actually a Twitter post that I think had been shared. Yeah. It said, Robin Hood legitimately hid NOK, AMC, NOK, I'm not sure how to pronounce these, NOK, AMC, GME, and NAKD, naked from search. Internet Psychology 101. This will only make things worse for you, Wall Street. Things are getting blown the fuck up today. Take all the cash you can afford to lose and buy.
Yeah. And of course, as we'll remember after this, Wall Street's no more.
Well, yeah,
they did it. They shut them down.
It's all over. They call it Rubble Street now, am I right, Cambo? Or Berlin Street? They could do that. That'd be good. But yeah, that one was from Deep Fucking Value, just by the way. And then another one. So these were actually, these were the top 3 posts of the year. So just to clear up, the armored car, the Chevin one, those were 2 and 3 that weren't related to GameStop, but GameStop took up the first 3 spots, I think, before the next one was the robbery.
Yeah,
and
right.
then Chevin last. So you got that little Chevin really
couldn't have been more wrong.
Couldn't have been more wrong. But yeah, I think the last one of that was actually it was just one of the third top posts of the entire year was just an update from Wall Street Bets showing how much the stock had risen, which I'm so genuinely surprised that, because regardless of, in fact, one of the posts during that was at the top was a meme about saying, the 1% of Reddit that is affecting the GME, GameStop market, and then the rest of Reddit sort of pretending that they're part of the part of the movement, and it's like this cat dancing or something. I don't know. It's a funny meme. Yeah. But I think that's why I'm so surprised that one of these posts, which is just an update of the stock, is so highly upvoted because really a large percentage of Reddit would just like, oh yeah, I've heard about this.
Yeah.
But,
I love that a funny meme can beat out like the conviction of a police officer who murdered a man kind of thing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Like it's nuts. In fact, it reminds me, I think, maybe not, maybe it was last year or maybe the year before. Obviously Trump was a big part of Reddit that year. And the top post was about him having toilet paper on his foot after he had getting off the plane, and so sometimes Reddit takes the funnier side of things, which is it's fine. Speaking of stuff that's maybe a bit more serious, let's stick with the top 20 posts.
Okay.
how many do you think were coronavirus related? Obviously, still being pretty impactful.
Coronavirus not reared its head in this best of yet, which is obviously a big event of the year.
Yeah.
I don't think there'll be too many. I'm going to say 3.
Yeah. Tricked you, Camby. Zero posts.
Yeah.
Zero posts.
I did suspect a trick.
Genuinely, I was kind of surprised about that. And
2020 definitely would have been there. 2021, people definitely wanted to try and ignore it.
Yeah. My question to you last year, one of the questions was how many of the top, I think 10 were coronavirus related. And there was like maybe 3 or something. But yeah, just totally sort of fallen by the wayside, I guess, in a way. Not sure whether that's good or bad or, people are just a bit over it, I think.
It's definitely got to that point of news saturation on I mean, not just COVID, news saturation generally, I think is a very real thing now where unless I need to look something up specifically, I don't go on news sites anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't think I want to know what's going on.
Yeah, that's right.
Close the blinds. I won't look outside.
Yeah. Hide under the blanket.
Yeah.
Works every time. Okay, so here's the next one. This one is which post featuring the following celebrities was the most upvoted this year? Just as an FYI, I'm not including any political figures.
Yep.
They don't count. They're boring. And the post has to be about them.
Yep.
So it's not like a meme that features them. In case you're wondering, there was a Matrix Keanu Reeves one related to Wall Street Bets about holding.
Yeah, that's very Reddit right there.
Yeah.
Mix a couple of things they all like together.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. First of all, actually, is there any celebrities that come to mind? Maybe has there been somebody that's died? Has there been somebody that's done something horrific that everybody's been talking about?
Constantly.
More so than, than usual.
There are celebrities that Reddit loves. Danny DeVito's one of them. Keanu Reeves is another one of them. But notable this year... It's difficult.
And I would say
because
you've got a pretty good idea about some celebrities in general. You're just a bit more on your radar and stuff.
But for instance, Armie Hammer had an interesting year, right? He had a ton of allegations against him, sexual abuse allegations. Apparently, he had a keen interest in like some odd specific version of cannibalism, like really weird stuff. But he's not a Reddit guy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
So I don't think that translates to like a big Reddit upvote. So I'm trying to now filter things that I remember throughout the year of celebrities into what Reddit would actually give a shit about.
Hey, you know what? Throw out some just interesting celebrity things that you come to mind at the same time. Well, maybe one of them might,
Okay. I bet you there's a really obvious one that I'm missing. Again, I can think of another one, but it's not a Reddit thing because it's to do with the Kardashians, and I feel like the Kardashians don't really translate on Reddit.
What was that one?
Kim and Kanye got divorced.
Oh, yeah.
Or filed for divorce or just split up or something,
Yeah.
So again, it was like a notable celebrity thing of the year, but I don't think it necessarily translates.
Here's something that we did speak about on the podcast during the year, which was, I want to say it was Kim, but actually I think it was one of the other Kardashians.
Yeah.
And you might remember this better, but one of the Kardashians tweeted about donating to a GoFundMe for a woman that she kind of knew for like cancer treatment or something like that. And everybody was saying, come on, she's got $1 bazillion. Why isn't she just donating the whole, I think it was like $60,000 or something like that. So that was, we spoke about that on the podcast. Doesn't necessarily mean it's up there, but
Reddit does love to pile on. I think that was a Jenna.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah,
they do love to pile on. So you're right. Stacey has been very adamant about that. In I think she did you talk to both of us or just me after that episode?
I think both of us.
Being like,
here's
some facts that you didn't know.
Here's why you should love the Kardashians is what happened.
I'm drawing a blank here.
Okay.
Can you give me some options?
I'll give you some options. You know what? And I want to say to that, I think pretty boring year in terms of celebrities and what they've done, because none of these, and that was kind of the trick, Campbell. I'm full of tricks today. I
like that trick you did at the start where you completely fucked something up.
Yeah, twice.
We would have got away with one of them because they didn't hear it.
They didn't hear it.
And you're like, they can hear it now? Here comes the fuck up again.
Yeah, I can't believe I did that. Anyway, but just like so not interesting posts about celebrities. Nothing that you know would otherwise come to mind. But here's three that are a possibility and you can choose from. There was Arnold Schwarzenegger, who was giving a speech to college students.
Yep.
Just sort of about his upbringing.
Yep. Another Reddit favorite. He sometimes appears in a subreddit every now and then. Like, he will reply to stuff.
You know what? Spoilers. Last year, he was the most upvoted celebrity. It was actually just him and his dog, I think. That's what I was.
I remember. There's a screenshot I see go around every now and then. I think it's in a bodybuilding forum,
right?
And someone says, "Oh, someone should ask Schwarzenegger." Someone's like, "If you say his name 3 times, it will appear." And someone said, "Schwarzenegger," and he's just like, "Hello," like he just appeared in the thread as a reply.
Can't this can blow your mind. Last year, you said the exact same story about Schwarzenegger.
It's for the new listeners, Nelson.
It's for the new listeners. They've left Canberra. I already told you. We don't need to worry about them. Yeah, that's right. But it's true. It is funny, and he's definitely a Reddit guy. Yeah. So hot contender. Another one, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. This was in the subreddit Next Fucking Level. Mm-hmm. And it was by NRG Pop. Oh, I didn't credit the other person. Oh, didn't write their name. Okay. I'll get back to that. It says, there's a guy who meets... so this is a post, rather, where there's a guy who meets The Rock, and it's like some sort of like behind-the-scenes press conference, something or other, I don't know. And he tells him that, he sings a Maui song to his children every night. And The Rock's like, "Oh, thanks so much." He's like, "Oh, like, give me your phone. Like, where's your phone? And so then he ends up filming himself singing this same song and sort of gets the dad in. And it's like a bit of a wholesome moment, nice thing that The Rock has done for this guy.
I will say, though, in my opinion, The Rock, poor man Schwarzenegger.
Oh, yeah.
He's done everything right. Mm-hmm. And in fact, he's probably a better guy than Schwarzenegger. Schwarzenegger has like a ton of kids with a ton of women, and some of them he doesn't like acknowledge and stuff. So he's probably even a better dude. Mm-hmm. But he's no Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. He hasn't been in Terminator.
Yeah.
And the last one, this was about, so it's a twofer actually, and people that you won't particularly know, but there's Kenyon Martin and Jeremy Lin, who are basketball players.
Okay.
And Kenyon, I hope I've got the name of I'm pronouncing that right. Kenyon is commenting on how inappropriate Jeremy Lin's cornrows are.
Right.
And Jeremy Lin responds.
Okay.
And in fact, I will bring this up. But do any of those you think Reddit would jump on board more?
I do lean towards Schwarzenegger given his popularity on Reddit.
Yeah.
Though, never discount The Rock's popularity as well. But I'm going to go Schwarzenegger.
Okay. Well, I can tell you that it was actually Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
But he's a poor man Schwarzenegger.
He's poor man Schwarzenegger. It's like people don't know. We need to tell them. I mean, I think it was a cross between everybody in general liking The Rock, but also a bit of a heartwarming kind of moment.
It's a nice thing to do.
No, it went The Rock, Arnie, and then Kenyon Martin and Jeremy Lin. I'll read you this Kenyon Martin and Jeremy Lin post. Also, this was by Soul Brother. And it was posted in, Next Fucking Level. For some reason, Next Fucking Level has had a lot of top posts, and I don't think it's necessarily suited...
to the subreddit.
To the subreddit, but whatever. So Kenyon Martin said this about Jeremy Lin. "Do I need to remind this boy his last name Lin? Martin said with a sarcastic face and tone. Like, come on, man, let's stop it with these people. There is no way possible he would have made it on one of our teams with that bullshit on his head. Come on, man. Somebody need to tell him, like, all right, bro, we get it. You want to be black. Like, we get it. But your last name is Lin. And then Jeremy Lin has replied, hey man, it's all good. You don't have to like my hair and definitely entitled to your opinion. Actually, I legit grateful you sharing it, to be honest. At the end of the day, I appreciate that I have dreads. Oh, sorry, dreads. Not cornrows. And you have Chinese tattoos because I think it's a sign of respect. And I think as minorities, the more we appreciate each other's cultures, the more we influence mainstream society. Thanks for everything you did for the Nets and hoops. And your poster up on my wall, had your poster up on my wall growing up. Yeah, and it's got a little photo, and he has, like a Chinese tattoos, a few characters down his arm. So
Mate, kill him with kindness.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's basically what it is, and everybody upvoted it significantly to I guess agree with that point. But one I wanted to go through is and play for you. Yeah. Believe it or not, Cambo, listeners might be surprised I have something queued up to play for everybody.
Was this worth fucking up the podcast? Let's find out.
Probably not. Anyway, I'm going to play you the Arnold Schwarzenegger speech that he gave. It's just the autoplay. That's what kills me. Okay, well now I've got to turn
Reddit Media Player is no good.
It's no good. Hold on. Let me turn up my volume. Okay, everybody ready? Everybody ready? Here we go.
I came over here with absolutely nothing. I had $20 in the pocket and some sweaty clothes in the gym bag. But let me tell you, I had this one little apartment, and on Thanksgiving, the bodybuilders from Gorge Gym came to my apartment, and they brought me pillows, dishes, silverware, all of the things they didn't have. I always tell people that you can call me anything that you want, but don't ever call me a self-made man. And it gives the wrong impression that we can do it alone. None of us can. The whole concept of the self-made man or woman is a myth. I would have never made it in my life without the help. So this is why I don't believe in a self-made man. Why I want you to understand that is because as soon as you understand that you are here because of a lot of help, then you also understand that now is time to help others.
Oh, it cuts off quite briefly. Abruptly, rather.
Okay. I love the speech. Hate the music.
Oh, Cambo's so inspiring.
I hate the music.
Why do you hate the music?
Because one, it's too loud.
Yeah, I mean, I think we could have turned down the volume.
No, I'm saying in the mix of that, it's too loud. Yeah. And two, it's like, it's an editor's trick because, like, not trusting that the speech itself is inspirational enough. So not only do you need music would be fine, but just such big bombastic music, like, get it? He's making a grand point. I don't know, it seems too much to me. But I understand you need to grab people's attention on social media.
Yeah.
You've got a finite amount of time to get people in, so I understand why they do it.
I mean, I appreciate
No, you don't. You don't.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's also just like, it's like very clearly like a royalty-free music track. You know what I mean? Like, I think, great point though. Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon that's something that, everybody needs to hear because I know definitely earlier on in my life, the idea of people kind of helping me, particularly in things like you might have an idea for like, a product, a TV show, a movie that you want to write, I don't know, like a video game idea or something. And people are so, I think we're kind of brought up in general in a way to keep our ideas to ourselves because we're so worried that somebody is going to steal that idea from us. And I think what's important to know is if somebody wants to steal your idea from you, it's going to take them the same amount of effort to actually execute that idea. And they are going to need people to help them along the way because that's the idea. Obviously, maybe if you're, you might be more concerned if you're pitching to a distributor about a movie who does have the resources to totally steal your idea. But even then, you know, like, I think people are a bit more protected than they sort of feel. I mean, that's only one element of the, you know, don't go in alone, basically. Yeah. But the idea that you really do need support from everybody. Everybody is, you know, can use the help, and you should, as much as you can, give help to other people who are, you know, trying to do something.
And even like, I just think back to when I was at film school. There was certain people that wanted to make films, and they were so controlling on everything, and everyone's ideas were shot down, and they kind of ghosted everybody's role and tried to kind of do it themselves because they wanted complete control because they didn't trust people to really do it.
Yeah.
And their films are always the worst ones.
Yeah.
By far. And then you think of someone like Christopher Nolan, who's kind of seen as this like auteur director, and it's all Christopher Nolan's vision or whatever.
Yeah.
But he hires the best cinematographers in the world.
Yeah.
Wally Pfister, and now I forget who his new one is, but they're like some of the best cinematographers in the world. Hans Zimmer, who he gets to do all his scores, is like multiple Academy Award winning composer. And all of that makes a Christopher Nolan movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Not just him, you know?
Yeah. And in terms of business as well, Steve Jobs is a really good example, right? Of like, people will argue that he himself had no talent, right? And that his talent was getting the right people together and like helping him sort of achieve his vision almost. You know, like, sure, you could say that on a surface level he didn't have any talent, but I think
people are saying like, oh, he didn't code.
Yeah.
Wozniak coded.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Wozniak never sold a phone.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Made a great phone. Oh, he did make the phones, but you know what I mean? Like, it's like his skill set wasn't computers. His skill set was selling computers.
And I'd say it's also not that, maybe this could be argued, but not that Wozniak was kicked to the curb either. Like, he was still part of Apple for a long time. You know, it's not like he was like, oh, somebody's helped me get to this point, and now I don't give a shit about them necessarily, you know?
It's kind of like, this is a weird one, but we're kind of on this. The band Fall Out Boy, right? The main person, if you look at any promo image of Fall Out Boy, or if they do press interviews or anything like that, they put a guy forward, Pete Wentz.
Yeah.
But he's their bass player and backup singer.
Yeah.
But he's just a very handsome, charismatic guy. And they all agree, even the lead singer's like, put him out front. Like, he's the guy that should represent the band. Even though I'm the lead singer, interviews go to him, photo shoots, he's at the front. We understand that.
Yeah. And that's such a great, again, like a representation of what Arnie's talking about in his speech. You know, you need help from people. Nobody's a self-made man or woman.
Can I say there's a tiny little Arnie phrase that he always says, which I think is signature Arnie, and maybe people don't even notice it. And hopefully, once I point out, you'll start to notice it.
If it's "I'll be back, Cambo," I've got something to tell you.
And hasta la vista. No. He loves to say, "Let me tell you."
Yeah. Okay.
And let me tell you. You know, like, he always adds it as like a little. It's almost like people have phrases when they're like thinking or whatnot, and I reckon his is "let me tell you." He says it a lot whenever he's kind of like, especially free speech, like he's trying to come up with something at the time. He'll say, "And let me tell you."
Yeah. It's a good filler, better than or like, which I do a lot. He also says "get to the chopper" quite frequently.
A lot.
Yeah, like more than the average person, you know. Okay. I have two final ones. That should be fine. Yeah, whatever. Maybe we won't do podnapping or something. I don't know why I do this one in particular, because it's very visual based. But I've done it, I think, every time we've done a Best of Reddit.
Okay.
And this is, what animal was the top voted in r/or?
What animal? Okay. There's too many animals on the earth. I'm going to need
too
options.
many animals. I'll give you the options straight up. One is a deer.
Yep.
Where it's a photo of this kid who's seemingly made friends with a wild deer and brought it home to like the front door. And this is just like a photo of him. He's in like, I want to say like a snow jacket, and the deer just standing next to him, and he's got a big smile on his face.
I'd love to see it.
Yeah.
I'd love to see it.
Yeah, you would. Oh, you know what? I've described it pretty well. So another one is a baby seal. and it said rescued baby seal's first swim lesson.
Great.
That was by. Oh, sorry. I'll say the deer was by user Seen Some Things, and the baby seal one was from Megs. And can I tell you, baby seals, just personally, very cute.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely.
And then the last one was it was a puppy, and this was by Devonham Burgess. Devon M. Burgess, I think. And it said it was a deaf puppy, and the owner wakes up the puppy when he gets home because the puppy is not otherwise aware that he's there. Yeah. And he's just super effing happy to see him.
Yeah.
It's quite cute.
All very cute sounding.
Yeah.
What do I think? I'm going to go on the one I think I want to see.
Okay.
And I do want to see a boy that's friends with a deer.
Yeah.
I think that's what piqued my interest of like, I love a human animal relationship. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Unfortunately, it went puppy, deer, and then baby seal. You know
See,
what?
the puppy I thought was too obvious, you know.
Too
like
obvious,
a puppy in R/O.
Yeah, but it's
too
deaf.
expected.
It was deaf Cambo, so
yeah,
people got a little bit of extra sensitiveness to
of course.
that post. No, but the kid one I thought was awesome. Like it was kind of, it was cute in a way, but then also like funny because you're like, he just bought a deer home. Like what the? Anyway,
Just the whatever non-verbal communication went through that relationship. Like, come on, let's go home.
Yeah. Anyway, they had venison that night. My vote is the baby seal. Like, baby seal's like, just so effing cute. They have like huge eyes and like, man, so cute. Okay, here's the last one though before we move on to the regular subreddits. This was an addition to last year's Best of Reddit, and I thought this could be a regular one because I like the idea that, I think this is good end of year advice for people, I'll say.
Okay.
This was, which is the top unethical life pro tip? Okay, here's one. This is by ADP Xerox. If you plan on going to prison, learn to cut hair. Barbers are greatly appreciated by other inmates, and you'll likely be spared when it comes to prison violence.
Ooh.
That's pretty good.
That's a pretty good one.
That's a pretty good. I don't even think that's unethical.
And
that's just a life pro tip.
But
you've already done the unethical part. You're going to prison.
If you're in a sudden need to shank situation, a pair of hairdressing scissors wouldn't go astray either.
Yeah, that's right. The guards will let you keep them because you're like, oh, I'm the barber, you know. And they're like,
that's a pretty good
It's a pretty good tip. Life pro tip. Not unethical.
Yeah,
just life
I don't
pro
think
tip.
it's unethical.
This next one's by JRM 2003. Now is a good time for a cheap wedding. You can send "Wish we could invite you" cards and probably still get gifts without paying for a big wedding.
Look, as a man looking at trying to do a wedding,
Yeah.
it's not that cheap still.
Yeah, that's right.
Especially because, I mean, at least here in Australia, scarcity of any venues.
Yeah.
Because there's been a big delay of weddings, so everything's booked up. So what is left is super expensive. So I understand that you have to invite less people. That's great. But now getting the venue becomes super hard. So it all evens out and you got to spend money on a wedding anyway.
Yeah. But the thing is, though, if you can gain money by inviting way more people than you could really accommodate, and they all give you money, you could end up making money from the wedding. This is about the idea of inviting enough people that you're not actually going to host.
Yeah.
But they might think you would have. You get the money to cover the people that you're actually going to invite.
So when you uninvite these people, they still send you money?
No, the idea is you don't uninvite them. It's from the get-go saying, hey, we wish we could invite you.
Yeah.
But like, just to let you know, we're excited to be married on this day.
Yeah.
Sorry, we couldn't have you there. You know, I think that's like a little nice card to be like for people that actually genuinely had to.
Yeah.
Do this
Well,
and
actually,
wanted to
and
marry.
to this point, we do have some friends of ours that we actually got disinvited from their wedding because it had to be 30 people and under all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And did some investigation. Be like, how much money did you save? And
Yeah.
they're like, oh, a lot.
Yeah.
more than 20,000. Like, yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
We saved a lot of money.
Anyway, okay, so the last one is by Melkor himself. If you come across a dating profile begging for money, send them a request for the same amount instead of a gift. Many times they're too careless to read and will automatically accept it because they assume another desperate guy is sending cash. I like this one.
Yeah, this one's pretty good.
I want to just... I'm assuming this is through Venmo, which I only know from Reddit-based things. It's not really a thing that's used in Australia all that often.
We put money in an envelope.
Yeah.
Send it through the mail.
Yeah, send it through the mail. That's the most
we don't
efficient way.
We don't really do Venmo here. I'm sure it is available, but it's not a very common thing here.
Yeah. I don't think people use it. I mean, it seems like a great idea. I don't know why we don't.
Because the money in the envelope.
Oh, with the money in the envelope. Yeah. Sometimes I put my money in a kangaroo's pouch and send it on its way.
It'll get there eventually.
Yeah. Anyway, of those three, what do you reckon?
I'm going to go with the one I like most, which is the hairdressing one.
Yeah, that's great.
If it doesn't, that's the best one.
That is the best one. No, that was third.
Reddit can get fucked this year.
It's because it was a ethical life.
Yeah, that's true.
It would have got there.
Then it was the money one.
It was the money one.
Yeah.
Yep. Then it was the wedding one, and then the haircut one. Yes. Do you reckon that if we, as a podcast, sent out emails randomly, just tried to guess people's email addresses, and we said, "Hey, for some reason we didn't get the money. Could you just transfer the $10 can make it more reasonable to this bank account?" I reckon we could make money off this podcast for that.
You've discovered the format of a spam email.
Yeah, but
essentially what they do.
Yes, but here's the
You've
other
got
thing.
this Amazon shipping, but the shipping hasn't been paid for. Just pay the shipping.
Yeah. But ours is not a scam, Cambo, because when they do send us the money, we send back an episode to them. You know? Like,
but not this one, because then they'll hear the origins of what they've done.
Not this one, obviously. No, we have we record a special episode just for these.
The $10 special.
$10 special.
Yeah.
I don't think it goes for 3 minutes. It's only $10 came back. I can put a lot of effort into it. We just say thanks.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay. I'm into it.
Let's do it. All right, now it's time to move into Ask Reddit. Ask Reddit. This Ask Reddit. The top Ask Reddit of the year. It's not that good, Cambo.
Oh, no.
It was by Soup is a Hot Smoothie. Actually, that's great. That is great.
Yeah, that's a good shower thought.
That's a great shower thought. I take that back. They said, how would you feel about Reddit adding 3 not safe for work filters to distinguish between porn, gore, and repetitive posts, asking how you would feel about Reddit adding 2 not safe for work filters to distinguish between porn and gore. Yeah.
How would we feel about it? Indifferent.
Indifferent is the answer. Don't worry, I've got a backup one, Canberra.
Because we work from home a lot now, so
yeah. It's there are very few things that are not safe for my home.
Yeah.
This next one was by Cheap Double 9726. Don't worry, Kimber, this one's great.
Okay.
How would you feel about an if you accidentally scroll to the top, you can go back to where you were button for Reddit?
Oh, yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I would like the Reddit search function to work better as well, actually.
Oh my God. I would pay $1 million
Yeah.
for that to just be upgraded, even slightly. Just like 5% better would be great, because at the moment it's absolutely woeful.
And the problem with the Reddit search is it needs to be like letter perfect or it doesn't work.
Yeah.
I was looking for something and I was like, I think it's called omnibus collecting.
Yeah.
So I looked at that and it's like, I've never fucking heard of this subreddit in our life.
Yeah.
So then I Googled
wrong with you,
omnibus collecting Reddit and it's called omnibus collectors.
Yeah.
And then, so I just to check it, I put that in the search. Like, oh, this subreddit here. Obviously, this one.
Definitely, that exists. Yeah.
It's like, it's so frustrating.
It is so bad. It is so bad.
Like, the fact that I just went to Google and Googled what I was looking for, and it showed me the Reddit thread.
Yeah.
Says so much.
Anyway, but how did you feel about it? Feel great about it?
Feel great about it.
Okay. I'm still indifferent, honestly. Like, yeah, it's happened to me, but then I'm like, ugh, did I really need to get back to that meme? Not really. That was, did I say that? Oh, no, here's another one. Okay. This is by Torso Hunter. Top 3 posts, by the way. People of Reddit. How would you feel if there was a USA filter where non-Americans can scroll through Reddit freely without watching, hearing, or reading what's going on in America?
How would I feel about it? Is it so? It just blocks out American news. Is that the idea, or like American political update? Because I don't want to block out people from America because they can post some interesting stuff.
It's probably 90% of Reddit.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe actually that's too high, but
like,
it's a significant percentage.
I like the Marvel Studios subreddit. I'm sure it's mostly Americans in there. You know?
Yeah. Let's just say, I mean, I think it is about hearing or reading what's going on in America. So I think specifically their news and not so much.
Look, I appreciate the idea as a filter, but I don't think I'd use it.
Yeah, here's the thing. And I sort of get it because this would have been posted around
the election.
The
election happened last year.
Election is one thing. Not that I'm trying to say I don't want to hear about this, but I can imagine other people not wanting to hear about this, which is like the Black Lives Matter movement.
Right.
I think, because, or the, defunding police and that whole thing. Even the GameStop like predominantly, I guess, American in a way, like it's rich kind of billionaires. Well, actually, they're probably from all over the world, but still kind of American based. I can imagine this fills up people's newsfeed a lot, and it doesn't totally affect them necessarily, especially depending on which country you're in, and maybe you want to get rid of it. I think personally, America has such influence over, Australian life, a lot of the Western world.
Yeah.
So I do sort of want to know what's going on. I can see why it can get a bit much sometimes, but in general, keep my ear to the ground.
Yeah,
so.
I agree.
Okay, but let's do this one, Cambo. I promise this is not a how would you feel question. Top 3, how would you feel about this? That blows my mind. It's like it's a closed question, basically, that apparently is just so highly upvoted. But this one by Slim P. What if Earth is like one of those uncontactable tribes in South America? Like the whole galaxy knows we're here, but they've agreed not to contact us until we figure it out for ourselves. No, before you say anything, I'm pretty sure we've done this one before.
Yeah, I think we may have done this on the show. Don't
worry, Cambo. That was 1 year ago, so nobody will remember.
But we probably said this verbatim last time. Mm-hmm. If aliens come, I'd be so embarrassed because we'd definitely try and kill them right away.
Yeah.
Like we are not fit as a civilization to meet extraterrestrial life.
Yeah. I would say go back to where you came from in like the least racist way I possibly could.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, "Whoa, Nelson!" I'm like, "No, I don't mean it like that."
It's for their good.
It's just I'm trying to help them.
Because you reckon they'll get here and they'll be like, "Oh, you guys still killing each other, huh?"
Yeah.
You haven't passed that hurdle.
Yeah.
That's an early one, actually.
Honestly,
you need to really get past that one.
We thought a few hundred years ago those pyramids would help. Turns out they've done nothing to calm
They're big
you
arrows pointing to the sky to let you know we're here. We'll be coming.
Yeah, that's right. Oh. Guess we'll leave a big crack in the ground. Oh, you've got one of those already.
Enslavement then, all right.
Yeah. You've done this to yourselves.
We came in peace, but now we will enslave humanity.
Yeah. Honestly, I'd be like, I welcome our overlords because
they run things efficiently.
I have a feeling you're going to run this very smoothly. Anywho, all right, that was Ask Reddit. Those were the top places Ask Reddit. Let's get into Today I Learned. So now it's time for Today I Learned. Today I Learned. And also sometimes advice. This Today I Learned is by The Architect. Today I learned that slaveholders in the US knew that enslaved people were escaping to Mexico. The US tried to get Mexico to sign a fugitive slave treaty, but Mexico refused to sign such a treaty, insisting that all enslaved people who were free once they set foot on Mexican soil. Insisting that all enslaved people were free once they set foot on Mexican soil. I felt like my inflection was wrong when I first read that.
I had to think about that for a second.
Which is so. I really sort of love that, like, especially because there's been, the tension with Trump building the wall across Mexico and whatever, and it's like Mexico, kind of, I don't know. I feel like there is an element of Mexico being there's a level of like, what is it? I'm trying to draw the line between maybe they're not the greatest country, but also they've done some morally nice things in the past,
Well, especially with like the Trump build the wall types. They tend to view Mexico as like a real lawless land, right?
Yeah.
It's like I think that they think it's run by cartels and anything goes in Mexico and whatever. But there is some stuff that Mexico does way better than America.
Yeah.
That I think they would just never admit.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the guns in Mexico come from America. I know we've talked about that on the show before, but like things like that where it's like America is the problem to them.
Yeah, that's right. There is a weird dynamic where people are escaping to America, but if America didn't exist, maybe they'd be better off.
It's like, oh, you've got all these drug cartels in Mexico. It's like, yeah, because people are buying it in America and they get it from Mexico. If there was no demand, the supply would go down.
But yeah, such an interesting point in history, right? Of kind of that idea of slave ownership being rejected. Here's another one. It's by Pancake
To be
Lover.
fair, it was rejected pretty much everywhere in the world.
Well, that's true.
At that point.
It's a good point as to how, because presumably slavery was like everywhere at some point.
Yeah.
So at what point was Mexico like, oh, no slaves anymore?
Yeah.
To this coming into play. And anyway.
And there's that whole thing as well. It's like a lot of countries had slaves. Okay, to be fair.
Yeah.
And a lot of them abolished slavery, but one went to civil war about it.
Yeah. This is a good point. This one's by Pancake Lover. Today I learned Genghis Khan would marry off a daughter to the king of an allied nation. Then he would assign his new son-in-law to military duty in the Mongol Wars, while his daughter took over the rule. Most son-in-laws died in combat, giving his daughters complete control of these nations.
He's a good thing about Genghis Khan. He's a real feminist.
Really likes women in control of nations. Yeah, and he'll kill a man to do it.
He'll kill a man. Very woke of him.
It's
great.
Yeah, I find some of these historical...
Like, obviously horrendous and horrible. Yeah. Genghis Khan did horrible things, but great.
I find some of these historical facts so, like... so brilliant and interesting, because obviously there was just like a point in time where the law kind of didn't really matter. So, or there was just, I guess, a different law that everybody kind of went by.
Yeah.
And so you could think of totally unethical, things to do and just sort of get away with it if you had enough.
I love, like, it really brings into sharp focus this simplicity of the time. Because you're right. Like, now... it would be blocked by all kinds of treaties and whatnot. But it's like, there just wasn't any of that. And you could just do that. It kind of reminds me, this is not overly connected other than it just about the simplicity of history. But there's a Mitchell and Webb comedy sketch. And it's like the first cavemen detectives. And they come across a dead body. Like, all right, the dead body's there. Did anyone see this happen? Everyone's like, no. He's like, well, will never solve it. Like that idea of like things are just so simple back then. That just would have that's what it would have been like. And this is similar in the sense it's like no, like how could you have ever stopped him?
Yeah.
There's nothing in place to have ever stopped him doing that.
Because you wouldn't turn down marrying the daughter of Genghis Khan, you know.
It probably minimizes everything if you do it, because if you don't do it and you anger him, he'll kill your whole family.
Yeah.
Or if you do it, he'll just kill you.
He marries his daughter off to somebody from another nation, and then they invade you. And I'll also do a top advice, Cam. This is the Today I Advice section. So,
and also sometimes advice is how the jingle goes.
That's contractually obliged. This is by Moye Peep. And we actually, I think, did speak about this once before. Possibly? I'm not sure. Something similar, at least. To all my fellow unattractive people, I've come to the realization that complaining about being unattractive, whether it's about your height or weight or nose, will only make you even more unattractive. Life's too short to be sad over petty things anyway. Love yourself. I love you.
Yeah, it's good advice.
Pretty wholesome.
Can you top it since you brought it to the show?
Yes. To all my fellow unattractive people, get better looking.
Also, if Queer Eye has taught me anything, everyone can be attractive, and everyone lives in a shit apartment.
And everybody lives in a shit apartment.
It is kind of funny, like there are cliches of unattractiveness, but how much a haircut, a new wardrobe, and someone that kind of styles you, it's like, even if they're not like Brad Pitt, like they do look a lot better.
Yeah. Well, I think it to this point is people that get caught in this spiral of like, I'm unattractive, so I'm not going to look after myself. And then I'm more unattractive, so I'm not going to look after myself. You know, like there's this thing. But it's like, well, actually, the one day that you decide, hey, maybe I will. I'm not saying that you have to do these things, but you know, maybe you want to lose a bit of weight or something, and then and go to the shops, get something new to make yourself look a bit nicer. Like these things probably build your confidence more, and which is also, you know, an attractive quality. Like I think you can spiral down and you can spiral up. You know,
and also I would say like also kind of like fuck all that as well, because the most attractive thing, 100% seriously, is confidence. I would say, for instance, the actor David Harbour, who plays the police officer in Stranger Things. Right? He's not an ugly guy, but he's not a hunk or anything. But so many women find him really sexy. And it's just because he's like this charismatic actor. He obviously has a lot of confidence stuff, and that goes a long way. And it kind of doesn't matter that like he's a little bit pudgy or he's got thinning hair. That doesn't matter. He's super attractive because he's very talented at what he does. He's very confident at what he does, and that goes a long way.
And I would say, along with confidence, because I totally agree, we have spoken about that before, confidence is key. But I think intelligence is also super attractive. Only because if it's just confidence, sometimes you can get confidence assholes. But I think if you can be a confident, at least socially intelligent, that's very attractive.
Yes. Good point.
And also Rachel Riley.
Riley.
She, unbelievably smart woman.
She's done all of them.
She's done all the things.
She was already conventionally attractive, but then she did all those other things.
Yeah.
In a way, we should sit down and go, it's too much, Rachel.
Yeah. Start eating some cake or something, you know?
Put this baggy jumper on. Stop showing your form. It's good. You know, we get it.
We get it.
But you're nice and you're intelligent and you pick your lane.
Yeah. Also, stop learning. Because I feel like she's one of those people who would just be constantly learning throughout their life. Like, just stop. Watch the Marvel films, you know? Turn off. All right, let's move on to shower thoughts.
Shower thoughts, shower thoughts, shower thoughts, shower thoughts.
This shower thought, top shower thought of the year by Mr. Severum. People who jog on the roads in the dark, wearing dark clothing and no lights or reflectors, are a unique combination of a person who cares about their health and well-being and doesn't care about their health and well-being.
That's good. I like that.
It is really funny to think that there is that sort of dynamic of a person. That's like being a really safe driver that doesn't wear a seatbelt.
Yeah. But even worse than that, because if you're a really safe driver, then technically you shouldn't need a seatbelt. But a runner in dark clothes and no reflectors, someone else can hit. You know what I mean?
Well, I think in both cases,
someone else
you're
can,
relying on other people to be safe as well. To some degree. But yeah, I thought that was just such a good one. But at the same time, like I'm not very good with that sort of stuff. Not that I run at night sometimes, but sometimes I'll ride my bike and I will have lights on, but I can be in dark clothing sometimes. And I feel like it's, I don't know, I want to look cool, Cambo. While I'm on my
It is
bike.
funny that the coolness factor does come into it.
Yeah.
Like there are people that just straight up refuse to wear a helmet.
Yeah,
Because they
yeah.
think it makes them look dorky.
Yeah. Well, actually, funny you say this because I was speaking to, it was my girlfriend's birthday yesterday and I got her some roller skates. She was looking to get into roller skating. And we also that day sort of went out and bought knee pads and stuff as well. And I was saying to her how, you know, when I was a kid, like I used to do rollerblading and I wouldn't be caught dead wearing like knee pads or elbow pads or wrist pads or whatever, wrist guards. And how my mentality has just totally changed for that in particular. You know, like, I don't care that I look like a dork. I don't want to effing land on my knees.
I mean, hopefully now we're just at a stage where we're post-vanity. Where you're like, pad me up.
Yeah.
Pad every inch of me.
Exactly.
I don't ever want to be hurt doing this.
Yeah. What really baffles me is something that I think is a lot of, I want to say, middle-aged men, particularly white men, if I'm going to be, you know, stereotypical about it, wearing Lycra while they're riding the bike. To me, you've gone out of your way to do something that makes you look quite unfashionable and uncool for no benefit, really. You're shaving a few seconds off your casual ride.
Unless
to
you're
work.
doing it competitively.
If you're doing it competitively, totally fine. It's a different ball game, you know?
I have a similar thing with people that are obsessed with like frame rates and input latency for certain video games where it's like, unless you're doing it like super competitively at the higher end, I don't think you're going to notice too much between these two very minute differences in frame rate.
I think it's funny and I can sort of see that as well. Also depending on what games you're playing as well. I think some people use that as an excuse. Like I've been playing before and people are like,
that's kind of how I see it all the time. Feel like, is it going to help you?
Yeah.
It's kind of like thinking if you buy the most expensive camera, you'll take the best photos. It's like, there's other elements to it as well. It helps, but there's other elements to it.
The problem is you can't ever prove somebody wrong unless you know specifically
Their
what
setup.
what their rate, you know, is. Like if they are getting really high ping, like, oh, okay, that does affect, but probably people just whinging. Anyway, here's another one. This is by Fricka Fresh. Or maybe we've done this one before. That name rings a bell. You know you're an adult. Oh yeah, I think so. You know you're an adult when you miss trash day and it ruins your entire week.
Oh yeah, dude, absolutely.
Yeah.
Happened to me the other week. Ruin where we are at the moment as well. We have a system where your main trash is only every 2 weeks.
Oh,
So recycling
really?
every week, main trash only every 2
Recycling every weekend. I thought it was always the
You would
opposite.
think, right? But
Yeah.
no.
Okay.
Recycling every week, main trash every 2 weeks. So if you miss the main trash,
Oh no.
you're 2 weeks out. And if it's full,
Oh no. You get a whole smelly area. Yeah. You know what you do, Cambo? Find a local park, dump it in there. That'll teach them for not allowing you to.
there are plenty of
next
parks
week.
around here as well, actually.
Yeah.
Or as I call them, dumping grounds.
You know what's great? Living in an apartment. I mean, there's a lot of not great things about living in an apartment. One of the good things about living in an apartment, no bin day.
Yeah, trash shoot.
Just trash shoot. That's pretty brilliant. This next one by Band-Aid Puppet. The 10 years between 25 and 35 are far shorter than the 4 years between 14 and 18. which I think, I mean, neither of us are 35 yet, but I would say, even just another different 4-year period, 25 to 30, let's say, seems to have gone a lot faster than 14 and 18.
Well, there's an interesting psychological thing about why your life feels like it speeds up to do with like your perception of when you're 1, a year was your entire life.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
then when you're 10, like that's a whole decade was your entire life. And then
1 year is...
each time it happens, that becomes less and less significant to you.
Yeah, that's right.
So like it makes sense psychologically that it does feel longer.
It's a logical, or scientific reason, basically, why you feel that way. I've always thought that's really interesting. Like, life... I always now think about my nieces and nephews who are about that age, and just how I'll have like fleeting moments with them. You know, like I'll see them, 1 month, but maybe I won't see them for a few months. And to me, it goes by quickly. Yeah. But I feel like to them, it's probably going by longer. And I'm like, I should try to see them more often because I know for them it feels longer, and I have to secure best uncle.
And I don't know whether this is just a pandemic thing, because years feel particularly weird in these years. But I remember as a kid, I don't remember what the context exactly was, but I had to wait a year for something.
Yeah.
That was the longest time in the world.
Yeah.
And I feel like I probably cried when I found out I had to wait a year. And now, a year, I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah. I can do that.
Yeah.
I've done that 30 times already. Yeah. All right, I'll do one last one here. Okay. This is by San Cap Iti. The International Space Station takes the smartest people on the planet and turns them into maintenance workers. It does seem like we're going backwards. We should take the idiots of the world, train them up like just enough to, get there. And even if they're like, we don't have enough training to safely do our jobs. Welcome to other parts of the world that already do that,
Yeah. So, I think it underestimates what people on a space station do as well. A little bit.
Yeah.
We just do unclogged toilets and stuff up there.
I mean, pretty much, Cameron. Yeah. That's it.
Because it's like, what if that was all they did? It's like, why are we sending them up there? That's good to have people in space, isn't it?
Yeah.
In case something happens, they're up there.
Yeah, for the aliens.
Yeah.
We should just send some rubbish people up there.
Yeah.
Or some people that need
I mean, we're trying. We sent Bezos up there. Whoa.
Well.
Or did we? Did he just go to a light orbit?
Yeah.
Nice try, but your big rocket penis wasn't good enough, Bezos.
Get
into real space.
A bigger rocket next time. Yeah.
While you're there, unclog that toilet.
Actually, do you know what? Just sort of a side story. If anybody's interested, I encourage them to go onto Twitch and search maybe NASA. I don't know.
Oh, right.
Because NASA streams to Twitch occasionally from the space station, and it's just so interesting and cool. Yeah. It's literally, it can get boring because it is them doing maintenance.
Yeah.
That's what they do. It's unclogging toilets and stuff. But it's just like a bit of, it's just so interesting.
Yeah.
To be like, there's a camera on the side of the ship, and it's streaming to you live from people just drilling some stuff into the side of the ship. It's cool.
It's amazing.
Yeah. But anyway, we'll skip podnapping, but let's get into the Ask Me Anything, where listeners of the show, just like you, listener, can write in and ask us anything you want.
I go on here from Hazza. It says, Gentlemen cunts, this month is big time busy season for jewelry, so I love listening to your podcast pretending that I still get days off work. Enough of my complaining. My question for you guys is, are you your parents' favorite child? Why or why not? I'm the favorite child, but only because I've lived away from home for the longest and therefore annoy them less. It's a great deal. Love you guys. Hazza. P.S. Bring back milk pranks.
I think it was bring back milk pranks? Yeah.
Not a question. She's demanding milk pranks return.
Here's a fun fact, just before we go into the actual question. The guy who we took the post of about milk pranks, I think wrote into us and was like, how dare you steal my material from Reddit? I thought of milk pranks. And
we'd love to bring back milk pranks, but we're in the middle of a huge legal battle over the rights to milk pranks.
Yeah, in fact, just talking about it could put us in some hot water.
Oh, dear.
Man. Some people.
We legally have to call them pranked with milk.
Pranks with milk, not milk pranks. Please don't bring that up again. Yeah. Just like how sort of big of you, like, do you have to, big of yourself do you have to think?
Yeah.
That you're like, this is such a genius idea. Nobody can speak about this. It was a one single post on Reddit. I swear to God, if anybody talks about this.
It's kind of like, if you throw out a joke and then someone adds to the joke, you're like, hey, whoa, that's my joke. Don't you add to my joke.
Anyway, that's funny. Okay, so are we our parents' favorite child? Why not?
I think I've talked about this on the pod, but I'll recap for the new listeners. Yeah, I am my parents' favorite child. And I told this to Stacey when we started dating.
Yeah.
I was like, it's not a big deal, but I am the favorite child.
Yeah.
I'm like the good child. And I'm the good child in the sense...
And Stacey laughed and she laughed.
She did. She did laugh. She didn't believe me until she met my mom. And my mom was like, oh, he is the good child.
Yeah.
And you, by association, are now the good partner.
Yeah.
That's just how that
that's
works.
Right.
This is a very Australian reference, but I'm the Stephen Bradbury of my family.
Yeah.
In that Stephen Bradbury, for those outside of Australia or that don't know.
You would have maybe heard of him at some point,
maybe.
Potentially.
One gold medal in the Olympics because every other person in that race fell over.
Not only in the final, but in the qualifier as well.
In the qualifier as well.
Happened to him twice.
So he won gold because everyone else fucked up.
Yeah.
And that is how I've become the favorite child. I just haven't tumbled yet.
Yeah.
Like all my other brothers and my sister, they've all just had dumb shit that's happened to them, or they've had to dump on my parents or go to them for help or whatever. And I've been working steadily for a while.
There,
I think I said to Stacey the other day, we took them out to go see the new James Bond movie a couple of weeks back at the movies. We went to their place for dinner and took them out, and my mum was just like overwhelmed with just like she just had such a nice time.
Yeah.
And I think I said to her, I think we're the first ones in a month that have given them benefit.
Yeah.
Like everyone else has taken something from them.
Yeah.
We're the only ones like, we don't want anything. In fact, we'll take you to a movie.
And everybody knows, every parent knows that's why you have kids.
Yeah.
Because one day they'll look after you.
Yeah.
The first part of life is just investment. You hope that they don't become a druggie or something because
that's why you have a few
them for long. Yeah.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly. You only need one of them to be incredibly successful.
Yeah.
It can make up for all the F-ups. For me, I reckon it could be between... I reckon it changes over time.
Yeah.
My parents, actually, the first child was a favorite. And I think there's something about the first child normally, that parents have that are like, this is the one where we thought they were so cute and whatnot that we'd have more. And we had more and we're like, oh no, we've got more children.
Yeah.
But me being the youngest, so the youngest of four, that also had its benefit.
Does, yeah.
Being the youngest, and in fact...
Because they've learned lessons 3 times over.
Yeah, right. Like, they were like, this one.
Yeah.
This one we won't screw up.
Yeah. Have you ever made a pie? Your second pie is better than your first.
Yeah.
Your third pie is better than your second.
Yeah, that's right. By the end of it, you've made a masterpiece. I'll let you know, it's not after 4.
No.
Yeah.
Then you've made too many pies.
Yeah.
You get lazy. You know what you're doing. They're never as good as that fourth one.
It is funny, just like a side story to this is I know that my brother, like the firstborn, he wasn't allowed to have any chocolate or candy or things like that, for like X amount of years. But then as soon as he had candy and chocolate, then the rest of the kids got it because, otherwise they'd be complaining and
He's
things.
the canary in the coal mine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We had to wait for him to sort of go through the suffering.
Here's the threat that you have to favoritism is other of your siblings have given your parents grandkids.
Well, that's what I was going to say as to why it's changed over time.
Yeah.
Because I would say like high school kind of time, I reckon... I was maybe the favorite. I was young and I was still cute back then. My sister, honestly, was a nightmare. Just like ran away from home and stuff for like, I don't know, a while. And yeah, I don't know. My brother's just teenage boys in general, I think, But then got a bit older, and then I think, my brother moved to Canada. and kind of like Hallie mentioned here, that made him, I think, a favorite for a bit because the distance makes the heart grow fonder or something like that.
Heart grow fonder, yeah.
My sister was in Sydney for a bit. That got her extra point. You think you lose points, but you bloody gain them when you're that far away.
By the way, the other day, someone said that phrase, but they said distance makes the heart go stronger. Oh. And it annoyed me more than it should.
Right, yeah,
so I'm like, that's not how I say it. Yeah. I say a different version.
Fonder sounds
It means exactly the same
fanciful.
thing.
Yeah. And in any case, so and then I think when kids came along, it's definitely competition between. Oh, you know what? This is what I think now. Now that there's kids that are here, my mum does not give a shit about her children, and really, it's just she just puts us in one category now of like kids that I have, but then the rest is a lineup of the grandchildren of like favoring those more or less. So, we're yesterday's lunch.
So you could have potentially been a favorite child at some point, but now you're lumped in with all those children under one category.
Yeah, that's right.
Beware of that, Hallie, just in case.
Beware of that. Don't have kids. No, see, I don't have the kids, but I'm still relegated to that. Yeah. You would think that it would be the grandchildren and me competing against each other.
This is what happened when your brother could eat lollies and candy.
Yeah, that's right.
And they all could. That's what happened. Yeah. He could get relegated, so you all got relegated.
We all got relegated. Oh, God damn it. Here's another one. This is by Doza. Oi, fellas. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and all that jazz. It's been a hell of a year, so I hope you guys have a very peaceful holidays, or hella chaotic holidays, if that's how you prefer your Christmas. I don't know. You do you. Anyways, I recently found out that I have an IMDb page. Oh. Whoa, sparse it may be. I think that's kind of cool. Basically, I did some art for another podcast, Betrayal. Yeah, I know. And when they got an IMDb page, they added me in the art department. It's the smallest claim to fame imaginable, but I'll take what I can get. On that note, question time. What's the dumbest claim to fame you've ever heard someone brag about, other than newly discovered IMDb pages, of course? Hope you're having a lovely holidays. Hugs from Florida. P.S. I've realized I never claimed correspondent for anywhere. Oh, if you wanted to assign me a random location, go for it. Or don't. Again, you do you. Doza, FHPCL.
All right, Doza, I'm gonna stick you on. Were you wondering what that stood for?
Fuck yeah, podcast.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So
it took me a second. Took me a second.
Your eyes, you read it, and then your eyes widened.
I was like, wait a minute. Is this a correspondent thing? No, anyway.
We've got a couple of fuckhead podcast listeners.
Both of them wrote in?
Last year of the show. Last year of the show. Yeah, I'll announce it now. Last show of the year. Yeah. A couple of fuckhead podcast listeners writing in. Perfect.
Yeah.
Doza, I'm going to put you on Rottnest Island. You can be a correspondent for that. Question number 1. What are those quackers up to?
You know what? Quackers are great. Like, honestly.
No.
Doza,
I'm not saying they're not great. I want to know what they're up to.
They are up to something.
Yeah.
We all know it.
They're so happy all the time.
They're happy. Why? They're friendly.
Oh, and people are like, they'll come up to you and take photos because they don't have any predators. Why? Yeah. What happened to them?
What happened to the predators?
What are they up to?
If like, humans are terrifying because we don't really have any predators because we killed them all.
Yes.
The dinosaurs. They don't exist anymore. We killed them.
Everybody
thinks it's a meteor. Not true.
It's the Rottnest Island, an island off the coast of Western Australia. Yeah. You are now the correspondent for that.
Yeah. Look up quackers. Yeah. Very cute.
We're not going to tell you how to spell it.
I mean, probably how it's pronounced.
It is kind of. No, you could spell it wrong.
Like English-wise. Yeah. But, okay.
Smallest claim to fame.
I know what it is, actually. Also, can I just say, I actually do think it's really cool that you're on an IMDb page. Like, I share in your kind of cool aspect of that.
Do you know, this is a really nerdy thing. You have a profile on the... Yeah. It's not on IMDb. Oh, it might be. No, I don't think it is.
No.
But it's on the movie database, which is where a lot of things like Netflix and Amazon and stuff pull their metadata from. You have a profile. And I'll tell you why.
It's like an acting thing, right?
Yes, it is. Because I have an account with Plex, which is like a server for video, and I put some of my short films on it. And I was like, oh, it'd be cool if that pulled all the information through. But to do it, you have to set up the film in that program,
Right.
and you have to add the actors. So I added you, and there's a photo of you from the film on there. So when you load up in my Plex, it all comes up like it normally would.
Right.
So you have a profile on that metadata serving thing.
Look out, Hollywood! I'm on my way. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Here's what I want to know though: is now that Duzzo is on IMDb, how many degrees of separation from Kevin Bacon is she?
Oh, it's a great question. We're gonna have to
Work that out.
we're gonna have to work. Oh, hang on.
Just give us 45 minutes while we look into this.
Well, hang on. We'll have to come back to this.
Yeah.
We'll have to work this out.
But yes. Okay. So, okay. I know exactly the example I'm going to give.
Okay.
People probably have forgotten this. I try to, but we interviewed PM Me Your Tits Girl on this very podcast.
It's our best episode.
Best episode because it's so bad. And I remember when he asked about being interviewed. Like, he approached us for interview. We were like,
do
we
people
didn't
know
go
that?
in- I don't know if people know that, actually.
He's like, you guys can interview me.
And we were like, okay, like,
yeah.
you've got some sort of profile on Reddit. Literally, I know, like, we'd just never hear from him again, like, ever see him on Reddit. Like, fame on Reddit isn't a thing as a user, basically. And anyway, he was like, oh, I could talk about how I won a game against an Olympic athlete or something like that. Or like a professional athlete.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And maybe we even brought it up in the actual interview.
Possibly.
And it was just like, oh, some professional snooker player. And in fact, I don't even think he beat them. It was just like that he got close.
Yeah.
And I was like, probably they let everybody get close so that they don't totally smash you in the first, like, what's the point of that?
Yeah.
And I just thought it was such a weird brag because A, nobody cares about snooker. B, the way that he wouldn't say that it was snooker when he was like first talking to us about it, like professional sport. He's like, he was just trying to big it up.
Yeah.
To make it
I've got a real specific one, and it's going to sound really petty.
Okay.
It's going to make me sound really snobby.
That's fine.
So occasionally, I'm lucky enough to Stacey and I get to go to like a movie premiere or some such. I say movie premiere. It's a movie premiere in Melbourne.
Yeah.
So it's not fancy.
not good.
It's not fancy.
Yeah.
It just means you see it a day or two.
You're not
before
meeting
people.
Tom Cruise.
No. Alan Tudyk was there once, weirdly.
Oh, right, yeah.
Don't know why.
And actually, we have had Tom Cruise here on a thing. Like ages
Oh,
ago.
yeah,
Like,
ages
but
ago,
yeah.
But generally, they're like crappy events. And then a subcategory is just a media screening because they have to show a bunch of people for one reason or another or whatever. And sometimes we'll be at those, and someone will take a photo there, being like, "Oh, at the big premiere." I have to be like, it's not. But I understand this perception because it's like, if a premiere is not fancy, these are just like, you turn up and there's no one there. And you're like, I'm here for this thing. They're like, it's down the end of the hall kind of thing. Like, it's like no fanfare whatsoever.
Yeah.
And they need to make it look like it's a bigger thing than it is.
Yeah.
I always find that kind of funny. When people try and big up a really small media-based event, I always find it kind of funny.
Yeah. I totally know what you mean.
But very petty and very snobby.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not a real premiere. I'll show you a real premiere. We had Tom Cruise here once.
Well, I think it's just because you compare it to the red carpet galas in Hollywood.
That's what I
and you're
think.
like, but it's like, no. You just turn up to a cinema.
Yeah.
Some people there who were the distributors or have sponsored the movie in some way get some free tickets and get to go. There's no like.
It's like a couple of. I mean, I'm going. If that gives you any indication.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks back, we got to go to the premiere of Spider-Man, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a huge film, Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
But you get there, you walk up a stair and get your name ticked off, and they're like, all right, go through, here's a free popcorn.
Yeah.
But people see the pictures of the one in Hollywood.
Yeah,
We're like, Benedict Cumberbatch is there, and Tom Holland's there, it's a huge red carpet, and all these celebrities are big. None of that.
Yeah.
None of that.
Exactly. Anywho, that's it.
That was... See, here's a distinction we need to make. That's the best of Reddit,
Yeah.
not the best of our show.
Not the best of our show.
No.
Wasn't the best start.
Yeah.
That's for sure. We've had better starts.
Yeah. Do you reckon people ever like, why don't they do a best of show? Why do you think?
Why? It's a struggle. So that's it for the year. If you would like to write into us like Doza or Hazza, you can do so. Reddit podcast, READIT podcast at gmail.com. You can also reach us at Facebook, Twitter, and our subreddit.
And Amazon.
And Amazon. I mean, well, we're on Amazon.
We're on Amazon.
You can't
reach out to us on Amazon.
through Amazon. Technically, I guess if you sent a package through Amazon, that could be classified as contacting us through Amazon. That's it for the best of Reddit 2021.
Last time for this year.
Last year for this time. Something that's what you said. Thanks for listening, and we will read you later.